welcome to the Meter Up series. My name is Chris. I'm your host for the only place on the internet to get exclusive meter content first. I will be hosting the web series as we move along and be having special guests along the way. There will be obviously a reoccurring guest here, Xiaohan, who is the chief of everything and co-founder with Meter. Hello, Xiaohan. How's everything going today?
Fine. Thank you, Chris, for organizing this series.
Of course.
I think it's going to be really fun for the community.
I couldn't agree more. And we're definitely looking forward to getting out some good information to the community. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on behind the scenes with Meter that people want to know about. And of course, we're not going to be able to dig into everything on the first episode, but what we will touch on is some important topics. We'll cover some of the broad strokes, I guess you could say, when it comes to what Meter's accomplishing and some of the developments happening. And then, of course, we always want you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be the first place that announcements are going to be made when it comes to Meter. And if you aren't subscribed, you're going to miss out on a lot of that. Everyone knows in the world of investing and trading and crypto, speed really counts. So make sure that you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. So with that being said, let's just dig a little bit into some of your background first and foremost, Xiaohan, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the project itself. But can you tell me a little bit more about yourself, maybe where you went to school, some of their past experiences, and then what really got you into crypto?
Sure. I have a mixed engineering and finance background. So first 15 years of my career, I'll do in engineering R&D in high-tech companies in Silicon Valley. During the last financial crisis, I went to Wharton to get my MBA. After that, I gradually moved into strategy, investment. In 2016, I started a VC fund called ZNT Capital. At that time, one of our investment focuses was fintech and blockchain. So that's how I started investing in this space. In 2017, many of our portfolio started to issuing tokens, and we got a lot of exposure as well by along the way. So during this process, I just realized, hey, this is like a mega trend in terms of the social economic structure change. Instead of managing someone else's money, I would rather be participating in this megatrend and building something myself, because I'm a builder at heart with my own engineering background. That's when I decided to work on Meter in 2018. Yeah.
So, the team has obviously a very impressive background, including yourself, and we'll have some more time to kind of dig into and get to know some of the other team members as we do progress throughout this series. Now, with Meter, one of the things that got me really excited about the project itself was just learning about the different value propositions and really starting to understand how it could be a disruptive force in the crypto landscape, whether it be from the metastable gas currency and MTR that's not pegged to fiat, but actually to the price of the electricity of the miners that are mining it, or the heterogeneous nature of the blockchain itself being able to connect other blockchains together, which is very unique and exclusive to Meter. Or the Ethereum layer 2 scaling solutions, all of it kind of wrapped up into one was really what got me excited. And I feel very lucky to be a kind of early investor and eventually join the marketing team, which I'm very excited about as well. Now, with that being said, I think there's an obvious transition that we can see towards decentralized finance. It's trending. You have things like the Federal Reserve writing papers about a potential paradigm shift. You have large financial institutional investors really taking aim at being involved in getting into this, whether it be through central banking digital currencies or just making large investments into the crypto sphere. Maybe you can elaborate for us a little bit and just explain some of the Ethereum scaling solutions that Meter is really bringing on board, because I know there's some really exciting and exclusive stuff that Meter has going on there.
I guess especially for people that's like new to Meter, it's really overloaded because we have like various different value propositions. It seems to be like, why are you guys doing all this, right? It actually originates from when we started the project. It's really the seek of freedom. Basically, if you look at the three things we're doing right now, creating, completing Satoshi's original vision to create that metastable currency beyond the fiat system. That's the freedom from the central bank. Like the scaling part is give you freedom of processing transactions the way you want it instead of being limited by the underlying infrastructure. Connecting different blockchains is give you the freedom of moving your asset to wherever you want, where you're familiar with, where you want to use them, instead of like limited by one particular blockchain, is locked in one particular blockchain. So the entire project, the ethos of the entire project is about freedom. That's why we started this. And actually, for DeFi, we actually been thinking about it since 2018. When we started the company, the US company is actually called Decentralized Finance Labs. It's even before the word DeFi was invented. We at that time foresee there's a need of building a new borderless society, a new financial system that gives people that type of freedom and empower people. That's why we started this project, and that's what empowered us or helped us to go such a long way. In terms of the e-scaling, one of the major issues is obviously on Ethereum, the low transaction performance and the high gas cost. On Meter, we use the like completely new consensus algorithm. We call it hot stuff, or like we also call it proof of value, which is the combination of both proof of work and proof of stake. However, on the transaction record keeping side, maintaining the ledger side, it's all proof of stake. And the algorithm for maintaining that consensus is called hot stuff. It's a new consensus algorithm invented in 2018. Compared to the existing consensus that, for example, Cosmos and other scaling solutions using, hot stuff is a couple times more performance. And the most important thing is you may notice every year, there's a couple times you will have problems connecting to like Google, Twitter, Facebook, those are major internet websites, because there's massive attacks, denial of service attacks going on in the network, causing major congestions and service disruptions. So in such an environment, the PBFT consensus is actually is no longer functions very well in those type of scenarios. Okay. We call it like when the network really partitions. But the hot stuff consensus can survive such a scenario and still processing things properly. So this gives you, as a user, more security and better experience even during the network disruption period.
Yeah, and that's some really great technology. And I think what I love about it is that it's actually exclusive to Meter, and that you actually were able to kind of bite off of the Facebook's team and developing part of this hot stuff technology for the Libra project as well, which unfortunately, we all know is not necessarily being rolled out because of some regulatory issues. But it's great that Meter actually has the only project that I've ever heard of that actually has the ability to roll that out and bring that value to the marketplace. That's really exciting stuff.
Yeah, obviously Facebook at that time in 2019, they have all the technology in the world available to them, and they decided to pick this consensus. There's a reason behind it, right?
Of course.
Unfortunately, because of regulatory issues, they won't be able to launch it. But think about the MTR we created. This is exactly try to avoid the regulatory issues Facebook
and MTR being the metastable token, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That's really exciting stuff. And I think we can have a whole episode, and I'm sure we will probably have multiple episodes just talking about the metastable token. That was something that got me really excited about the project as well, because it kind of is pushing us further in that realm of getting away from some of the limitations that fiat has really brought to us. And being tied to the price of electricity for the miners to actually be able to mine it themselves, and showing and looking on the website. If anybody does want to check it out that's watching, meter.io is the website, and you can go and actually see a graph where it shows the price of basically global cost of electricity averaged out against the inflation of the United States dollar. I believe that's correct. That's what the chart is.
Yeah, we have a chart in, I think, one of our Medium posts showing during the last 70 years, if you measure competitive electricity price in dollar, it went up about 6.3 times. But if you actually adjust for inflation, it essentially stayed the same during the entire period. So
Yeah.
purchasing power wise is more stable than any of the fiat currencies in the world.
Yeah, and that's just by itself something that got me really excited about the project. And like we said initially, there's so many use values and value propositions, I should say, to the project itself that it can be a little daunting to try and figure it all out. And that's why I think this in this series we'll be able to go and dig a little bit deeper and really simplify it for just the normal everyday person. Because when I came in, I wanted to kind of understand it all, which took me some time, and I don't think that maybe necessarily most people want to dedicate that amount of time to really understand it. So making it simple, I think, is really going to allow people to see how disruptive of a force that Meter can be.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the last part of the kind of heterogeneous side of what Meter's really looking to accomplish, can you just briefly touch on Meter's ability to not only connect blockchains, but do it in a very exclusive and unique way that other projects just aren't offering and don't have the type of capabilities because of the technology that Meter has? Can you elaborate on that for
Sure. So if you look at how internet evolves, it actually have a lot of similarity to blockchain. If you look at Ethereum, it's very similar to Ethernet or LAN, or like a local area network. Everything on Ethereum only talk to things within the network. And there are new projects coming like Cosmos, Polkadot. What they were trying to do is to create like a framework. If you follow that framework, you can create a chain that can communicate with other chains with the same framework. This is very similar to the 90s when people were talking about the ATM network. So this is like a proprietary protocol. If you follow that protocol, you have like best performance in the world, that type of thing. But we all know what happened at the end. ATM like didn't really take over the world. It's the internet. It's a IP router that connected all the heterogeneous network together, because people are already used to what they like. They have their own community. They have their own way of working, collaborating. If you ask them to change to a completely new way, it's very difficult. But if you can figure out ways to seamlessly connecting them together and allow them to both exchange information, exchange the assets, then it's going to be extremely powerful.
For sure.
So what Meter trying to do is instead of trying to position Meter as the center of the world, getting everything into Meter, we are trying to connect the world. We are helping heterogeneous chains to better communicate with each other. Users from different chains can move asset to one chain to another chain. Not necessarily they need to know about Meter. We can work behind the scene. So in a fully polished scenario, they can just seamlessly moving from one chain to another chain. And your app on one chain can talk to the same app on another chain. For example, aggregate liquidity, moving liquidities around to give you a better price, things like that.
I love that. And in all honesty, I can't even help. We've had many conversations about this topic. I've talked with many people about it, and every time I hear you talk about it, I just can see the vision into the future of what that could mean and how powerful that could be in connecting. I love the analogy of connecting different worlds and allowing them to stay the way that they are already, rather than trying to be the center of the world and making everyone adapt to you. The analogy of being the router, of allowing these different entities to connect to each other. I think it's so powerful. I think it really is, and has a lot of implications on, like you mentioned initially, being able to kind of create and give people back that freedom that they really want, of being able to trade anywhere they want to, move assets around anywhere they want to, work with different blockchains, work with different projects. And of course, as we all know, that's just not the way that crypto works at the moment. So I love that, Meter has that kind
We
of.
want to break all the walls.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. All right. I think on that note, we've hit the kind of big three topics when it does come to what Meter is looking to accomplish here. What we're going to be doing, and Xiaohan, we're going to be having you back on, I'm sure, to talk a little bit more about some of these big three in more detail. Of course, we want to dig into things like partnerships. We want to dig into things like future plans and the roadmap. I mean, there's so much cool stuff coming up, whether it be the bridge to Ethereum, whether it be synthetic assets coming. I know there's future partnerships that we're not going to be able to announce right now coming on the way on the horizon, as well as new tech and new developments that are on the way as well, which, like I said, audience, this is going to be your first place to get that information, that alpha, that stuff that everyone's looking for, so that they can be at the cutting edge of being able to know what's going on in the marketplace. And Meter is going to be right there. And we're very, very lucky to be in at an early stage. We're very lucky to be in at a small market cap. If you are an investor, not financial advice, but those are the things that really drew me to the project itself. And Xiaohan, other than that, I just want to ask you if you have any finishing statements or anything else you'd like to add before we kind of conclude here.
Yeah, we want to use this platform as a way to better communicate with the community, because we tend to have a habit of do not talk about things until they are really mature and ready to launch. But obviously, during the way we realize that's probably not the best way to engage the community. That's why we're working with Chris to launch this video series. And finally, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It will help us to better promote our YouTube channel, and
Yes.
you will get the first notifications as well.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Xiaohan. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell as well. Get those notifications going. We are going to be updating this. I can't give you a specific timeline right now because it might be once a week. It might be 3 times a week. It really depends on how much information we want to get out. But we will be updating this channel, and we'll be updating this web series a minimum of 1 time a week, just to keep everyone engaged and to be getting out the information that we know people want. So other than that, once again, my name is Chris. I'm signing off. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you, everyone.